Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. As promised, we're back with 2 more episodes of Them, The Scare, Season 2. So this is going to be episode... Y'all, look what happened yesterday. This is so ghetto. Let me keep this hand down. Anyway, this is episode 3 and 4. Like I said, this is the man with the red hair. And I forgot what episode 4 is, but when we come back, when we circle back to it, I'll let y'all know what the name of it is. Anyway, let's get into it. So Dawn, she gets to work, and it's this uniformed police officer, like he's blocking her parking spot, and so she kindly asks him to pull forward, and he tell her to find another spot, and she like, excuse me. So she put her car in park and get out, for some clarification. Would you please kindly move your car forward? You're blocking my parking spot. And he gonna mumble, black bitch, and speed off. Anyway, and she's your superior at that. Dawn, she gets the paper in the morning, on her way up to her office. And the writer got it completely wrong. Now the headline says the LAPD ignores another serial killer. So instead of just putting out there what she said, they're going to spin it, and hold the LAPD responsible for those missing women. She gets to her desk and she finds crime scene pictures with her face on some of the photos. The good old boys been playing games. They over there all looking to see if she's going to react. If she's going to, let's see, is she going to be the angry black woman? Let's see. Let's all see. Let's sit back and watch. That's the type of energy they had. Like they wanted to trigger her. She takes it and she go tacks it to the bulletin board and stands there looking at all their asses like, y'all got something y'all want to say? But they just looking at her again, waiting on her. Is she going to explode? Let's see. She doesn't do it. We're not doing it. Not giving you the satisfaction. She's called into her lieutenant's office, and of course he wants her opinion on the recent news article on the LAPD and how they're ignoring another serial killer targeting the black community. Of course he knows that she's the source. And because of it, now she'll be the sole person on this case. Since you want to, go out there and throw out that there's a serial killer, you can solve the case. And you can do it all by yourself. Mama Greer, she's at work. And she opens this drawer and finds a few of those Raggedy Andy dolls. And she pulls one out. And she's just looking at it. And then all of a sudden, she gets the impulse to, like, cut her hand off. And just before she's about to take the little paper cutter thing. Just before she's about to slice it off, somebody comes inside. The door chimes or whatever. And so it breaks the trance that she's in. The doll. It's the doll. Anyway, Dawn... She goes and finds the other brown person in the precinct, and he gonna side with her, and he's honored. He said, I've been waiting on you. He's honored. He's a Hispanic guy, so he kind of understands what it's like being in that precinct full of white men. Anyway, he don't blame her for going to the press either. He's ready to push on what we got. I'm ready to do what I can do. They go over the case notes. And she gets him up to speed on the case. She thinks that the killer's going after people who have hurt him in the past. It's obvious that these are personal vendettas. And so she want to get the DCF records from Miss Bernice, and see who was staying in her house. And they also think that the reason behind him stashing his victims in these small spaces is because he feels hidden. And he wants their attention. I'm like, go ahead, girl, you figuring it out. Edmund Luke James is having company. So homegirl from the place, she at the door with wine. They have dinner, and he gonna tell her he quit his job. No, you were fired. You had to go showing up to the job at the kid's place with a knife. Anyway, he asked her what her dreams are. She says she did a little acting in high school. But she actually really loves being a receptionist. She loves the people there. She loves her job. And she starts talking about how she and her coworkers hang out a lot after work. And she mentions who all be over there at the kickback. And Edmund is like, It's the crazy get activated as soon as he hear about that production assistant. Because he called him the camera guy. And she's like, he's a production assistant. He don't like that. He don't like that man. Okay. Oh no, he's a casting assistant. Excuse me. He immediately gets up and excuses himself to the restroom. She gets up, she's snooping around a little bit, looking at photos, wandering around the living room. Edmund Lou James come back and stand in the hallway like this. And he has that sock cap over his face again. And she looking like, Edmund, like she's not amused. It's not funny. She's not amused. And he has a butcher knife and everything. And then he starts walking up to her, put the knife up to her neck, and she's begging, of course, for him not to hurt her. She's crying and carrying on. Like, she is scared. And he takes off the stocking cap. Like this is some movie scene that he was practicing, like it was Anne's scene for him. And he's just cracking up. Like, that was great. Great improv. You had tears and everything. Like, I could feel your fear. That was great. Excellent. Like, we did it. And she's terrified. She get the hell out of there. She gets the hell out of there. But he don't even care because he's so thrilled with his acting skills that he ain't even worried about her leaving. Anyway, Dawn, she's at work and she gets a call from somebody that says that they have information about the cases. There have been 2 more murders. And he gives her an address to meet, but he doesn't give his name or whatever. She goes to the address and meets them. It's a little dress shop or whatever. And there are dozens of naked mannequins just lined up. They're all over the place. There's this guy there. His name is Victor. And he's the one who called. He says that his sisters are the murder victims. And he's worried about the police harassing their parents or whatever, because I'm assuming they're immigrants. He says that the police interrogated his parents and they blamed his father. Then his parents come out and they're immediately like, oh no, you got these police up in here. We ain't talking to the police no more. We not doing it. Victor, however, he knows that Dawn can help. I don't know how he knows, but he knows. And it might be because she's the other minority. She's the minority, in the precinct. So she has to be helpful because them white men don't want to hear it. So let me go see what the black lady can do for us. You see how that go? Let it be the other way around. We on our own every single time. Anyway, we not gonna go tit for tat. Victor, he takes her to his sister's rooms. It's not been touched since they passed. They started covering their mirrors. And as she's looking in the mirror, she remembers how the last victim reacted when Detective Dusty Ass took that sheet off the mirror and how he was just, he got real scared. When he snatched that sheet down from that mirror. They covering up the mirrors. That's pertinent information. The girls also pushed their beds together because they were scared to sleep apart. Dawn, she notices that they had a little cameras set up, and so she asked about the footage. And on the ceiling there's this big poster, and so of course she goes up there, snoops around, and in the air conditioning vent are those VHS tapes. So they, of course, they pull all that down. They watch them. At first the girls are just dancing around in their room. And then the camera cuts, and one of them is just staring at herself in the mirror. Then they both start acting strange, hallucinating the man with the red hair. Victor, he was the one that found them. You know, they showed him. They all contorted up, and every 25 plus bones broken too. And they were found, like I said, the exact same way. Edmund Luke James, he in there doing some homework, and he's sitting there watching TV. I think he was either watching TV or listening to, he be listening to a whole lot of little self-help tapes. I don't know, but he's sitting there listening to that, and he is just cutting his leg, like deep cuts. Oh, that's what he watching, Charles Manson interviews on TV or whatever. And this was another moment where Luke James gave us an incredible performance, where he doesn't use words, and that is hard acting, conveying a message without words. And it was obvious the amount of things going through his mind as he sat there and cut his leg and cried and all that. It was just top tier acting. Anyway, Dawn's son, he hanging out with his friend girl, and he asked her if she's ever felt like something bad, was about to happen. Like if she didn't act a certain way, do a certain thing, that people might die. And, she's, confused, like, because what does one thing have to do with the other? Like, I'm not confused, but it is how he's been feeling. So, whatever. Dawn and her partner, they're going over the case. And the victimology isn't adding up, because where these two twin girls come from? How did we get here? Who could possibly move around like this without anybody knowing, without being recognized? Dawn thinks maybe it's a cop. We see her still at the office looking over the tapes, and Detective Dusty ass, drunk ass, or whatever, he comes in there talking about, what are we watching? And she shut it off. We ain't watching nothing. What do you want? And he says he wasn't ready to call it a night just yet. He thought he'd swing by and see what's going on over here. See what's shaking. And Dawn says, is there something wrong with your desk? And he said he want to push the reset button on their relationship. And she said, we don't have no relationship. And now he's sitting on her desk trying to, assert some type of dominance over her. Scoffing at her for working too much or whatever. And then he makes the joke talking about, oh, I get it. You got to show him, huh? You got to show him you're not just another affirmative action hire, huh? And he just really he thought that was so cute. Laughing at his own joke, then apologizing. She like, for what? You sorry for what? Dawn she ain't the one. She not the one. He says for all of it, he says he knows that he wasn't a supportive partner. She's still really just looking at him like, I'm confused. Why are you here? What do you want from me? Then he gonna tell her that she don't have to be a cunt about it. Picking up stuff on her desk and all of that. Please, sir. And he's trying to threaten her, but no. Mm-mm. She's sitting there with her hand on her gun, because if I got to shoot your ass, I will. What do you want? Get to the point. He's clearly drunk, you know, so she tell him, you know, go ahead and sleep it off or whatever. Um, when he does leave, she's sitting there and she almost has like this panic attack because she started breathing heavily. She goes to check in with the doctor the next day, and of course he gonna prescribe something because um, it might be hypertension. Her father had a heart attack, and so she, you know, of course, gotta get in front of stuff. So he's going to prescribe something for the hypertension, and refer her to a cardiologist. So we got Iman Shumpert at is that how we say his last name? Anyway, he is Teyana Taylor's ex-husband. He's Don's baby daddy ex-husband in this. I didn't get his name, but I think it's Corey. I'm gonna just call him Iman. He drops in to visit with her son Kel before going back on tour. So I guess he's a musical artist. On his way home, he's stopped by Kel on Kel's way home. He's stopped by Detective Drunk Ass, and he's talking about where you coming from. First of all, you done rolled up on him. Did he? I think he turned his siren on, because I was gonna say, did you even announce? But he still didn't. He didn't show no badge or nothing like that, because he's in plain clothes as well. He's a detective. So the least you could have done was walk up on me and introduce yourself instead of getting out your car and asking me, where am I going? Who are you? Who are you? Can I see a badge? You could be anybody rolling up in this car with your suit on, white man. I don't trust it. Show me your badge. Show me your identification first. I'm just walking my ass to the house and you stopping me. So he asks for his bag, goes through it and everything. He finds the weed. He takes it, puts it in his pocket, and then makes him get in the car. Excuse me, sir. Who are you? Kel get in the car. He's scared, of course. He asks him, you know, in the car, am I under arrest and all of that? And Drunk Ass asks him if he's scared. Are you scared? Sir, I asked you a question. Don't answer mine with one more question. Is this an arrest? What are we doing? Why am I in your car? He ends up just taking him home. And then, you know, he gonna say, tell your mother I said hello. That boy goes straight in that room and smoke a blunt. Straight away, okay? Because you done stress that child out. Anyway, Edmund Luke James, he show up to the audition. He's done the homework. He has on his serial killer costume. It's very realistic. He is terrifying everybody he walks past. Everybody's like, you might have took it too far. Like, I don't know about this. You know, it was kind of Joker-like. When he gets to the front, because, you know, he walk up to the front and scare that man right out the front seat. And they call him in there. When they call his name, of course, he gets up, and the man is so disturbed by his costume. He was like, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. And homegirl that encountered him, she walk up, and she immediately turns around and runs out of there. Edmund Luke James, he throw that man up against the wall and goes right in. They're like, Edmund, go home. This is not your day. Not your day. Edmund Luke James say, I ain't hearing none of that. It is my day. Today is the day. You know, he has gone to great lengths to become this character. Y'all gonna see my performance. He see homegirl in the corner, and he was like, you told me that I'd be perfect for this role. You told me I'd be perfect. I don't even know why she would take her ass in there. Girl, when you turned around and ran out of there when you first saw him, you were supposed to just go. But you back in there. Anyway, he spazzes. He has a whole meltdown. He doesn't hurt anybody. Walk outside screaming and carrying on. I mean, just really carrying. um, Dawn, she's home now. She's been made aware of the weed. She found it. Um, she said, "We're gonna talk when your head clears." Then she turns around. She's like, "You hungry? Let's go get something to eat." So he got the munchies. So she take him to go get some food. They talk about it over dinner. He says he only uses weed when he's stressed. She understands life can be stressful, life can be overwhelming, which is probably why she works so much. Still, you can come to me with whatever, whenever. Then he tells her about his run-in with Detective Drunk Ass. He don't know his name or nothing, but he tells her what happened to him. And she kind of automatically knows it's Detective Dumbass Dusty Ass, and she's just on some wait till I see his ass on the ride home. She's just so mad. When they get home, Mama Greer, she waiting at the door with Dawn's hypertension pills. What are these? She said, "Ma, not now." Yes, right now. No, not now. Please, girl. Please. Edmund Lou James, he's sitting outside the talent agency, of course, mad as hell still, looking crazy still, staring at homegirl because, she on the list now. Now your ass on the list. Homegirl and the casting assistant, he got that look in his eyes. I said, "Girl, you an enemy too. Now you in danger." At the same time, Dawn, she's sitting outside Detective Dusty Ass house, smoking a blunt. And she too looking a bit unhinged. But rightly so. You done messed around with her baby. Until next time. We gonna let me roll on into 4. Again, so far, I finished it, by the way. So I know why we got the twins. But so far, when they threw those twins in there, that kind of threw me for a loop. Like, now what would they have possibly done to him? It made sense for those other 2 victims to be victims of what's his face? What's the boy name? Of Edmund Luke James's voodoo or whatever he got going on. It would make sense for them, but when it came to them twins, I was like, huh? Anyway, let's get in episode 4. Happy birthday, sweet boy. Edmund Lou James, he been listening to a book on tape. And as he's listening to the book, he's walking up to this book signing. It's a big mansion in a nice neighborhood. And it's this white man. He's the author. And he walk up on him talking about Dad. That man turned around looking at him like, "Edmund?" Almost scared of him. Nervous. They've had some dealings with Edmund. It shows. He ain't too happy to see him. He keeps trying to pull him away from his party. But Edmund Lou James ain't going in there. He want to talk right now. He want to know why he wasn't mentioned in the book. You mentioned your daughter, but nothing about me. And it seems like he's about to make a scene. So Mama come down there and she already she holding another little black baby. So she done adopted another little black boy. They all go inside, and Dad, of course, he talks a lot about the child's upbringing in his book and it being a catalyst for psychological issues. It's almost like his experiences with Edmund, he done threw in his book. and he's educating the people on the psychology behind these serial killers and all of that. And when it comes to Edmund, he's feeling like it's sounding like him, but you ain't mentioned me by name or nothing. He just want to know what's going on. He's been thinking a lot about his own upbringing. He said he think about that time that it was his 13th birthday, or no, his 12th birthday. And you told me we was going somewhere fun, but you dropped me back off at the group home instead. Then he see his old foster sister, their biological daughter, and he want to speak, but she looking like... But of course, dad walks him right on out of there. You know, he wants, what do you want? What is it? Do you need some money? What's going on? And he said, I just want to know why you left me on my 12th birthday. Dad says, listen, we tried. We tried everything. You had issues controlling your emotions. You know, like you would break things. It was hard. It was hard raising you. They had to make sure that their biological child was safe. Like, no offense. We had to make sure our real baby. I said, you ain't had to say it like that. But I mean, I get it. As a parent, I get it. You ain't come for me. And so, no, you're not hurting the child that did. So they were smart. They were smart. Edmund, he wants to know why he couldn't give him a solid foundation. You know, he feeling real homicidal, honestly. And he's afraid that something bad is going to happen. And he was coming to him for help, but the man going to say, then go seek help. Then what you think he doing? What do you think that this is? You ain't care nothing about him. Because if you did, you would have saw that through. You would have took that seriously and thought, I'm gonna help him because it's obvious something is wrong. So yeah, let me help you get the psychological help that you need. No. Push it on somebody. Get somebody else to do it. Dawn is at the laundromat and she sparks up conversation with Detective Drunkass's wife. She kind of poses as a cop's wife to get her to talk to her because that lady was looking at her like, why is this black woman even sitting here? Anyway, she threw a couple questions at her to see if it was indeed him harassing her son. Then she checks his whereabouts, you know, for the night of the last murder, just trying to check in. Because he has a few complaints, but the one thing that stood out was an old case involving him. It was some shady shit going on, a wrongful death, you know. Anyway, she drops by his old partner's house to ask questions. And he says that he quit right after that boy was killed. She want to know why. He shows her the old case notes. And they tried to say that it was gang related, but that boy was beat to death. So he blew the whistle. And then he says that's when they wouldn't let up. You know, that's when the retaliation started. And he was a part of this little secret society of good old boys. You know, they tattooed their little crest or brand or whatever on his calf. And he said he got so mad one day, he cut it out. He just cut it completely off his leg and put it in a Ziploc bag. And then he gonna throw it over there at her. He wishes somebody would have warned him, for sure. Emmylou James, he's out picking up a prostitute. And he speed off and park in this vacant lot. And the lady finna, you know, unzip his pants, you know, work for her coin. And he stops her and asks her how she became a prostitute, you know, what kind of life is this? She takes offense, but of course, you know, her little comment is kind of snarky. And then he pull out his money, the little water money he got, and then just starts throwing it at her, some on the floor. There it is, some on the floor. Pick it up. Pick it up. He judging her, just being real aggressive. She tries to get out, and he locks her in. And then tells her that she's nothing. She's invisible. You know, like, you could disappear and ain't nobody gonna know. Don't nobody care. Wouldn't nobody care about you? So she gonna try to do some Jedi mind and try to, you know, get him back on the side of, okay, let's just do what we came to do. And when she tries to distract him with some head, he mushed the hell out of her. I mean, mushed the hell out of her. And she screams, you know, let me out of here. And he gonna scream it back in her face, let me out of here. Just really mocking her. She's saved by the police, though, because the police roll up right in time with the whoop whoop. And she's in the clear. They look in the trunk, and he has this pig mask along with the whole kill kit and all of his collections of VHS tapes. They question him immediately. he tells them that he visited his dad in Hancock Park and then took a drive. He ended up on the whole stroll. It's his first time on the whole stroll. Then they tell him that they spoke to the girl that he was with. You know, you left her pretty shaken up. What were you thinking when you picked her up? And he says he didn't want to have sex with her. But he had her pretty scared. And when they tell him that, he's very pleased with himself. You know, it's kind of like, I did? She was scared? Wow. I'm really good. They start comparing him to the Southside Slayer. And, you know, he's honored, to say the least. Edmund Lou James when he turned the camera. It was giving. He turned the camera, brought it closer, and gave us a good monologue. One of the best, you know. The police are in the other room looking over those tapes, and he's reciting his monologue, you know, for his audition. This time, though, the delivery is perfection. It's perfection. He's trying to get the cops to believe that it's him, but his crazy ass is just sitting up there. He's just sitting up there acting again. It's one big audition and nobody else knows this. We're not in on the audition. We're not in on it. They come in there pissed, you know. I'm like, this is bullshit, running lines. Just saw the whole thing on the VHS. It's an audition. Damn it. That man leap over that tape. You done wasted our goddamn time. I'd have punch you in the face. Edmund is pressed. You know, he is so upset because, damn, y'all don't believe it? He mad now because, of course, now it's just your ass is crazy. Mama Greer, she putting them pills back. And then she sees a whole bunch of prescription pills just on the ground in a straight line, all the way to the closet. She pulls out a box and she just stands there with it. Dawn, she's out driving around and she ends up at the good old boys meeting where they be meeting at. She following Dusty ass. They outside shooting and drinking, and, you know, Dawn, she creeping around the property, trying to get a closer look. She sees him tattooing a man, and when she turns to, you know, go away, she run right into Dusty ass. And he asks her what she's doing there. Of course, she just wants to go. She just wants to leave. And he tell her she not going nowhere. Now everybody outside surrounding her. And they're, of course, trying to intimidate her, but she tells him to stay the fuck away from her family. And that's why she's here. I came to tell you that. And he says that she's not to come anywhere near him and that this never happened. And she hightails it the hell out of there. With everybody following her, like walking behind her. They done scare her ass about half to death. Edmund Lou James, he done broke into the casting assistant's apartment. He go in there and boo-boo, don't flush, rearranges the furniture, watches his home videos. And when the guy finally comes home, he jumps him outside before he can even get in the house, covers his head, and then listen, it was quite the tussle because the guy kind of gave him a good headbutt from the back and got away a little bit, but he got that thing on his head, so he bumped right into the light pole. So there's that. Edmund, you know, overpowers him and tapes his feet together and then stuffs him in the trunk and he rides off. Mama Greer, she wakes up to water running. She goes to see what's going on. It's Dawn. She's sitting in a bath, just sitting there. And Dawn says, you ever worry if you're a bad mother? And Mama Greer says, you're a great mother. And Dawn says, I'm not talking about me. And then she turns around and look at her and says, why are you lying to me, Mom? What's in the box? What's in it, Ma? And Mama Greer, she don't say nothing. Dawn just continues to say, you're lying. You're lying. Kel, he comes into the room, so he distracts her again, which breaks the trance. So she was hallucinating. Um, Dawn, she gets home and Mama Greer she's in a state. Okay, she's crying about how much her dad loved her. You know, just know that me and your dad love you. And she opens up this box and she shares what she's been hiding. So Dawn is adopted. She always planned to tell her, but listen, you just so well adjusted. And you're always gonna be my daughter, period. I'm always gonna be your mother. So she just didn't feel like there was a need. But she does, you know, have the information for her birth mother and everything. Dawn don't want to talk. You know, it's too much for her. She gotta go. Poor casting assistant. He about to be Edmund's first victim. He in costume. They in the room. We back in this room with the robots. So he was the one in the beginning, in the first episode, with the robots and the mannequins. He pull out this projector and plays, you know, his 6th birthday party. Then he turns it on his ass. His name is Donovan. He turns the camera on him and he makes him slate his name. And read for the role of young Donovan. Donovan, you know your lines, you know. He makes him do it over and over and over again. Donovan tries to play along, you know. He's like, please, brother, please. Edmund laughs, then starts like crying, sort of, I don't know. While he's doing that, he just go on ahead and break Donovan's wrist. Donovan, he somehow gets up, gives him a good shove, you know, knocks him to the ground, and he tries to get away again, but it's too short. He too short again. Edmund grabs him by the foot, breaks it at the ankle, and I'll be back for episodes 5 and 6 tomorrow. I just say every time that child tried to get out of there, he was coming up short. Poor thing. Listen, his demise was really sad. It was hard to watch. It really was. Anyway, are you guys enjoying it? The way that I have enjoyed it. It is a really great series. I really hope you guys like it. So those of you that are tuned in, please get your folks around here. I feel like when I reviewed them the first time, I did just one review of the entire season. And I think I like this better, you know, kind of dragging it out. But I'm trying to think about those views then, and it was kind of like, damn, y'all ain't watch it? It's really good, I promise. It's good TV, I promise you. I'm not just saying that because it's black folks. It is really good. It's really good. Anyway, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.